signal. And it's Simmons guarded by Sugars, one freshman on another. Nelson along the baseline. Again, Simmons from the corner.
That's a spark off the bench. Billy Lang needs a timeout. And given that Army did not score a point in the Army-Navy football game, this is a big jolt for the cadets to see their team ahead by a football score, 17-10.
And it's Navy which came in with a track record and reputation of hitting the threes, and it's Army who's scoring from long range thanks to the freshman Simmons. A look at the three-point field goal.
And both of those three-pointers for Navy were at Adam Teague very early in the game. They missed their last few.
With the timeout by Navy, a chance to remind you that ESPNU has more college basketball coming up. It's Northern Iowa versus Missouri State. College basketball on ESPNU continuing with the Panthers and Bears. Tonight at 7 Eastern. For more information, log on to ESPNU.com.
Navy now with both their leading scorers off the court.
They look to go inside to Teague, and coming around from behind, Sizemore picked up the foul for Army.
And it's also worth noting, Bob, that their best defensive player, Romeo Garcia, is still out with a hamstring injury that he's been fighting all season long. He came back to practice Monday. Billy Lang said it was their best practice of the season because he does so much for them in so many different ways. Then he hurt the hamstring again, and now they don't know when he's going to be back.
Garcia had injured his left hamstring late in preseason, injured the right hamstring in December, re-injured it, as John told you, this past week in practice. Biggest lead of the game, difference at 7 in favor of Army. Colbert off a screen by Vesey, flips it out to Aguero.
And at that last whistle, Bob, they brought Kaleo Kina back into the game.
Colbert back out to Aguero, this time on a drive into heavy traffic. Offensive foul. And a timeout at West Point, where the cadets are revved up. Thanks in great part to the freshman Julian Simmons. Early on, he's shooting Army to a 7-point lead. Now Colbert defends Simmons. Miller out to Nelson, who finds Sizemore. Into traffic, up and down.
I'm going to say, without knowing for sure, that this is as good as Army's offense has been in weeks. These first 10 minutes.
That basket from a guy who's played all of 5 minutes this year. Colbert on a drive, draws the whistle.
And that is Cliff Colbert's game. Getting to the basket, using his strength. Very smart player, senior. Comes off the bench for Navy, gives him a boost all the time at both ends. Think about this, Bob. We talked earlier, Army averaging 45 points a game in Patriot League play to date, 56 a game for the year. He got 19 in under 10 minutes. My math says that would be 76 points. And obviously, Billy Lang doesn't want to see them continue at this pace.
Cliff Colbert, from the foul line, has made 15 of 17 free throws in conference. Maybe a good free throw shooting team overall.
The only weak free throw shooter for them is their point guard, Aguero, who's averaging under 60%. Much the way Americans point guard Derek Mercer is also not a good free throw shooter.
One thing to keep in mind, though, Billy Lang does have a luxury late in games of turning to Chris Harris as his primary ball handler, and he's exceptional from the line.
And he has been the point guard in the past until Aguero showed up this year.
Walker out of a double team. Miller from the wing. And a three for Josh Miller, a bonus for Army.
The Navy coaches must be looking at their scouting report and saying, where do we go wrong here? None of these guys are supposed to be shooters.
Miller last year, all tournament in the Patriot League postseason, erupted with 25 points in an upset of Lehigh.
Army's beaten Lehigh on the road the last 2 years in the Patriot League tournament.
Teague looking for a third three. It's short. Aguero with a Navy rebound. Pina under wraps early, draws the foul on Miller. Say friends, for up-to-the-minute news on everything that is college sports, log on to ESPNU.com. If you don't have ESPNU, be sure to log on to ESPNU.com and type in your zip code at the top of the page or call your local cable operator or satellite provider. Log on to ESPNU.com today.
Keene still scoreless, but with a nice shot fake there. It's only Army's 6th foul, so he doesn't go to the line.
Now he's posting up, drawing the double. Finding Colbert from the foul line.
With Colbert giving Navy a nice boost off the bench. Jim Cruz calls it, we got an injured player. Cruz was pointing to Frank Scagliotta. I thought he was calling a timeout. And that doesn't look very good, does it?
Terrell Thompson being attended to near half court.
And it's in his leg. Maybe he just got a cramp, Bob. It's hard. It looks like he really cramped up in that right leg. Let's hope that's all it is. And we all know how painful those cramps can be when they come on. If that's what it is. It could be something worse, but let's hope it's just a cramp.
There's an Army junior played his way back in the starting lineup today, coming off 13 points at Lehigh.
Yeah, and as you said, Jim Cruz has gone with a lot of different combinations this year, looking for the right one. So far today, he's found good combinations.
Looks like he might have rolled his right ankle as he was taken off the court. Black Knights by 6. The difference, a couple of threes from that freshman Simmons.
Came in off the bench and hit his first 2 shots, bang, bang.
Now off the screen, Richard open to left fly for 3. A strong side rebound to Aguero. Caught off by Royal on those long arms defensively. Colbert travels.
And the Army has really done a nice job making it difficult for Navy to penetrate throughout the game. Anytime somebody gets in the lane, it seems like there's 3 guys around him. I was going to say 3 white shirts, except these shirts aren't really white.
Army's gone with the grays against Navy in recent years, and it's worked well, as we've talked about with this series dead even the last 5 seasons. Simmons off a screen, and he pops from 3.
That's 3 for 3. His first Army-Navy game, he doesn't seem the least bit intimidated by it.
Played at the Army Prep School a year ago, coming out of high school in Texas. Now Teague trying to answer. He misfires from long range. Veazey kept it alive, but Keene couldn't save it. It's a 9-point difference. 3 threes from freshman Julian Simmons. Army has the lead over Navy.